Yo, what is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? It is your boy Swank, and it is Tuesday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That can only mean one thing. It's time for the K-Gun Report right here on the Buff Fan Base Network, sponsored by 26 Shirts. Guys, we're going to recap this monster game that we just had against the Miami Dolphins. We're going to talk about the trade deadline, which ended at 4 p.m. today. We're going to preview this game against the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to take your questions, your comments. We're going to do pick'ems. It's going to be one of the best shows, I swear, that you've seen this week. Guys, tell all your friends, tag your mom, tag your dad. It's the K-Gun. We're going to get going. Here we are, and here it is on another beautiful Tuesday night. Guys, holy jeepers, man. Season 5, episode 35 of the K-Gun Report, coming right at you, right here live with a bunch of bearded dudes. Down below me here, you know him, you love him, one of my favorite twins, Jerry Reed. Jerry, how's it going tonight, brother?
It's going fantastic. 7-2. I mean, what could you ask for? I know a lot of people had us middle of the road, halfway, 5-4 right now. But hey, you got to play one game at a time. And right now we're standing at 7-2, demanding lead in the division, which is awesome. But no, I'm just standing here, sitting here in between some beautiful Finger Lakes in the 75-degree weather day today, and it's been fantastic. Winter is coming. Don't fear that. I fear that, but don't worry, it's coming. If you like winter, it's coming, guys.
I like it a little colder. I mean, maybe not winter, but I'm good for a nice hibernation this year, I think. So we'll see what's up, dude. I'll take a 74-degree day, though. Right next to me over here is the other half of that twinsome terror. That is my boy. You love him. That's Scooter Magooter. Scott, what do you got?
What's up, Jerry? What's up, Swank? What do I got? I got a crack in them. Victory Tuesday. We'll talk a little bit about this Miami rivalry, and we'll get right into the old rivalry, the Indianapolis Colts. I saw a funny stat the other day. Out of the AFC East division right now, the Colts still have more AFC titles than the Jets do.
Yeah, I saw that. That was one that was circling around at the beginning of the season, I think. I love it. I absolutely love it.
So cheers to the Victory Mafia. I love you guys.
Hell yeah. Guys, we are part of the Buff Fan Base Network and super proud to be the original Bills Mafia, also sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. You can get some fresh threads. You can help out a family in Western New York. You can feel good about yourself. You know, it's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win. Break.
Win-win-win.
Yeah, go to 26 Shirts. They're doing great things over there, man. Just put out another hot item. Go to website. Check it out. Oh, we got a whole ton of you, 740 of you already tuning in the first 4 minutes of this here program. And I think we're going to say hi to some of our regs over here, in the comments. Don't forget, get on the comments. Throw your questions, your takes. Ask Jerry about his beard length choice. I think we have all sorts, like 3 different lengths going on right now from bottom over, like kind of counterclockwise. It's it's looking good. We're doing good things here. Patrick Hughes says, "What's up, Mafia? It's Tuesday, so get to cracking your drinks and cans of SpaghettiOs. It's K-Gun Report time." Hell yeah, Patrick. SpaghettiO wise, man, I think the SpaghettiOs, I think, are what's their record, man?
SpaghettiOs? Yeah, no,
5-2.
They're 6-2, Jared.
6-2.
We started week 2, so
6-2. 6-2.
You know what I love about that, though? Since we started that, one of the scores has had a 0 in it.
Yeah, and that stayed true this week.
Yep.
It's a wild thing. I don't know. Patrick and Corey pointed that out a couple weeks ago, and it's a phenomena. There's been a 0 in the score every single time SpaghettiOs have been 8. So luckily we were on the receiving end of that 0 that helped us push over this last weekend. But I digress. We'll get into it. Corey Blaine, let's go. Another great win. Big Boot Babyface Bass with the walk-off. That's right. Our boy, Big Boot Babyface Bass. Jerry had a good idea when he hit that 61-yarder, which is a Bills record, by the way. Why don't you tell them about that great idea and what they can do to get into possession of some sweet 24/7 gear?
Yeah, so a couple years back, Swank came up with a great design. It says Big Boot Babyface Bass. It's got a boot on there for the eye and then our logo in there. It's a sticker. You can put it on anything you like, your dresser, your car, your Xbox, your wife's forehead, your ex-wife's forehead, whatever you want to choose. But no, we're giving them away. So if you want one, just DM us your name and address, and we'll send it out to you for free. No cost, 0. You put it on somewhere, represent Big Boot Babyface Bass and the struggles he's been through. He's been a lot this season. And I don't know if you saw the interview in the locker room with Coach McDermott, but this is a tough game, guys. And sometimes all you have is the other 60, 70 people in that locker room that you've been with all year. They believe in you. That's why they keep you there. But outside people can be harsh. And we all know that from experience. But to have a good core of people behind you, no matter what, is what it's all about. So stay close to the ones that you love and that love you. And you'll always have a good direction to go forward when stuff gets bad. And it did get bad for a minute, but he came through and hit a game winner, and he had all the support in the world. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, well said. Somebody's going to make a joke about you using up all your words right there, I think.
Yep. That was a lot.
Mary Jane Brown Hughes, good evening, Mafia. What's cooking? We got Ellen Lartz. Let's get to cracking. We need to seriously celebrate 7-2. That is absolutely right. You might have noticed that I am drinking Sprite tonight because I'm still trying to kick the rest of this cold. I think it's on its way out, but I promise next Tuesday, man, I'm slamming beers with all of you guys. John's happy Victory Tuesday, everyone. What a kick by Baby-Faced Bass. Go Tyler. Hell yeah, man. It was pretty cool seeing all that locker room speech, man. That got me a little bit. When McDermott did that big pause, so he had his hand on his shoulder, I was like, he just doesn't know what to say? And then when he looked at him, I was like, oh, dude, he's choking up. Yep. And then when Tyler took it and he started trying to do his thing and then got that in his voice, I was like, oh, man, this is for real. Even Josh and on his on-field after the game, it was like it was crazy, man. They love each other. It's awesome. I love it. Let's see. Corey Blaine, Patrick Hughes, another O in the score, brother. SpaghettiOs get the win again. That is absolutely right.
Oh, yeah.
And then he spell corrected SpaghettiOs, but I'm not going to put that up there, huh? Doug, it's time. Deep breaths for a Victory Tuesday, T-Bass. Hell yeah. We got Uncle James saying, what's up, Mafia? What's up, Uncle James? Yo, I want to thank all of you guys that tuned in in Jerry and I's absence last week while Scooter Magoo held it down and kept it going for real. And thanks for giving him something to talk about and support, and I really appreciate it. And you did a great job, Scooter.
Thank you. I want to express my appreciation too. Sometimes when you're up here by yourself, you worry about hitting on all topics and all that stuff. And you guys, the fans, kept me going, asking questions, real good questions. So that helps for a good show, and it definitely helped the process. So thank you very much.
Hell yeah. We got, let's see, Patrick Hughes, Power of the O's, is no real questions about it anymore. Yeah, that's right, dude. That's absolutely right. Ellen, can we say Poyer got smoked again? 15-yard penalty on his back. Yeah, Ellen actually texted this to me earlier. Real quick, before we get going too far into all this, that play on Poyer, maybe we don't get the opportunity to make that kick if he does not have that targeting play. What do you guys think, man? Was that dirty? Is there a history of dirty plays now with Poyer here? I know last time we met up, there was another one on Shakir, right? Mm-hmm. Now we got Keon. We don't know his fate. I'm hoping that the way the trade deadline kind of worked out today, it's not going to be anything too serious. But I don't know, man. Do we consider him dirty now? What do you think, Scott?
Is it something he was doing all along? We just kind of turned our head to it because he played for the Buffalo Bills. We always know he was an aggressive defensive back, safety. But I don't know, him coming in full bore. I don't know. I hate to say it's dirty, but it looked like that. It definitely looked like that. So I don't hate him. I think he's playing the game to his best of ability. He plays 110%, and you got to give him credit for that. But he can tone it down. Right now, it's two straight weeks, like you said, Swank. Week 2 and this week that he's kind of hit a bit cheaply to our wide receiver. So
yeah,
it's tough.
Was it Crown? Did you use the Crown?
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, he popped him. He popped him right in the face mask.
He still went up. Yeah, he still went up.
So my question would be, there was a run earlier in the game with, I think it was Moser or Chain, that he lowered his head straight down, level to the ground.
So no, dude, that was Taylor Rapp.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rapp hit him in his face mask like this, and they called Rapp for.
No, you're wrong, dude. That was Rapp. That was Rapp's bad the whole time, man.
Oh, you think Rapp was at fault?
Yeah. I don't think he should have tried to tackle him and let that guy run right into his face with his helmet like that.
Okay.
You know,
I got you now. I was like, wait, so we're talking about the same
He's
player.
Like, are you okay?
No,
dude?
yeah,
How sick are you, dude?
The Rapp was actually, that's how you're supposed to tackle, face up into the grill, right? And that should have been crowning on the running back.
Lowered it right into his face. Yeah.
So there's a phrasing that's not used very often, is lowering the crown of the helmet. And that's exactly what we saw with Rapp and Mostert. Rapp's face, fit form tackle, looking up, and Mostert lowered the crown, which is this part, lowered it, looked face down. That's a spear. That's offensive penalty all day long. They didn't call it. Poyers, I don't think he lowered his head. I think he just did lunge. He did lunge, though, up high towards the shoulder, chest, face mask area. So that's where I think he suffers that penalty for. And it was a good call. It was a good call on the refs for that one. But they also missed that pass interference that happened before that. That would have put the ball down even further.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't want to give him the refs too much credit here, because I think it was a very poorly officiated game. I think those two phantom holding calls, the one that called back Josh's touchdown and the one right before that, it just, I don't know what we are doing here at all at this time in the history of the league. And as important as these games always end up being, like, how long are you going to let this go on for? It's ridiculous. And another, I was watching the KC game last night until I decided to turn it off and then see, I pulled it up in the middle of the night when I woke up to see the OT ridiculousness, of course, that happened. But that Xavier Worthy catch, where he just stepped directly out of bounds with both feet, right? They called it, did they call it a catch? And then the Sky judge came right back and was like, no, it wasn't. Why can't they do that all the time?
Right.
They can't do that all the time. Like, why? You can't be like, hey, where was the holding on that? Like, the Sky judge, there wasn't anything on that. What are you talking about? Like,
and it happens so quick.
Yeah.
It happens really quick. These guys line up the line of scrimmage to run a play, and you'll hear the announcer saying, oh, New York called down that one and changed the outcome.
Yeah.
They can do that in every single I mean, I wouldn't call everything, but pass interference calls, all that stuff, intentional groundings, all that. Why not?
So in college, that hit that Poyer did, they would have stopped the game and reviewed it to see if it was, what do you call it? Targeting. Right?
Yeah.
If they could stop and do that in college to see if it was targeting, why can't they do it in the NFL, where if it is a unnecessary roughness or a flagrant foul like that, replay it and see if it actually is? Because it's easy. If his face hits him, I think you got to not call it. If it's the crown or his shoulder comes up and lunges, then you got to call it. You can see those.
I think that pretty quickly you can kind of determine intent, right? And to me, a tie goes to the receiver in that moment. That's fine with me, right? Because that's what the whole defenseless thing and protecting everybody's about. But if you're telling me that, like, I would never have considered Poyer like a dirty player while he was here. Aggressive, sure, like whatever. But I've never saw him like try to like hurt somebody with his helmet to like end their career or seriously injure them. I've seen him pop dudes. Like, and that's the way he plays, and that's great. But with that particular play, if it would go up, I would say, yeah, man, maybe it wasn't intentional, but it's helmet to helmet contact while he was already getting tackled by somebody else in the air. Like, I'd probably give it to the wide receiver at that point and be like, yeah, but that's common sense. That's something that you can look at in 5 seconds and be like, yeah, okay. Like, tie goes to the receiver, right? Just like an intercept, whatever, like a simultaneous ball, Yep.
A Poyer could also get rid of that penalty on him if he puts his arms up like he wants to catch the ball.
Exactly.
If he's going
or
for the
turn
ball,
his head.
turn your
head. Oh, let's see. Patrick asked if I was drinking a Sprite and if I'm feeling okay. I am drinking a Sprite and then I'm feeling better, but not 100% yet. So thanks, buddy. We got Josh Williams. Hey, let's go Buffalo. We got Cookie. What's up, Josh? He says, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Josh and Josh?
Charla, looks like we go with what we got. Hell yeah, that's right. We got Lori Wynn, mother of the amazing Eli. We will have Eli's winning lockdown for all of you tonight to enjoy when we do our score predictions later on. She said she had a heart attack. She was at the game on Sunday, so I can imagine that was a pretty big one.
That's a fun one to be at, I'll tell you that much.
John says, thank goodness for blood pressure medication. I'm right there with you, brother.
When the outcome turns out the way you want it, though, doesn't it make it that much better? I mean, we want games like this. It's fun and exciting until the end. There are the ones we do want blowouts, but like a rivalry game like that to come down to that, and that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, but when you take your extra blood pressure medication and get hypotensive and lightheaded, that's a different story.
I'll disagree with you as far as my personal take. I want to be like everyone to be a blowout. I don't want. You could have caught me not saying it out loud, but in my head saying like, this is really what it's coming down to right now.
Mm-hmm.
A 61-yarder from Bass. Mm-hmm. If I was some other content creators or some other people that weren't so positively and fan first, I might have had just a little bit of a "are you kidding me" moment in my head, but cheered our boy on and he drilled that thing, man. Drilled it right down the middle. You heard it when he cracked it, dude. Oh my god. Yeah.
I want to see the next gen stat to see how far that would have been good from.
I mean, at least 70.
Yeah, I mean, it landed in the crowd. 70. It still made it to the crowd. It's not like it landed right behind the goalpost.
Yeah. I know. I was listening to Circling the Wagons a little bit earlier and follow their live stream and podcast on the Buff Fan Base Network. But they were talking like 75, and I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I think 70's that sweet spot, an extra 9 beyond what he kicked it. I think that, or what the yardage was, I think that's fair. I don't know, 75, you might have hit the crossbar on it. Who knows? Doug says Josh choking up right after the game got me. Hell yeah, man. We were talking about that. It's crazy. Patrick says, Swank, a good way to fight a cold is a nice can of meatball SpaghettiOs. Listen, I did my due diligence before this game, and I ate SpaghettiOs. I ate meatless SpaghettiOs, but they were warm, and I treated it as a cold remedy. Doug says Swank is feverish. That's right.
One more cowbell.
You guys are killing me, man. This is great. Getting into the quota for the flags. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the refs anymore. Part of me is like, throw everything that's a freaking penalty. I'm fine. I don't care if the game's 6 hours long, as long as you call it right. The other part of me is when I'm watching games that aren't Bills games and they go on forever, I'm like, get this thing going. What are you doing? Yeah. Like, I want the Bills game to be called perfect.
Well, you see all these phantom holding calls being called, and then you watch the Kansas City Chiefs play yesterday with how many rushes did they have up the middle? Not one holding call called. Not one. Yeah. And Hunt was running the ball up and down that field. There had to have been something, and nothing's called. It's just inconsistent.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? Consistency. I don't know. If everything's gotten better, and now supposedly the refs are they're training more like it's a full-time job, and they're getting paid like it's a full-time job, and they have to go and get vetted this way and that way and whatever and evaluated. How come it's not more like it's all still like point of view? It's all still like it's so dependent on how you feel at the time on the field. Like that, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And it also doesn't make sense to me that the sky cam, that guy can come in anytime he wants and just, nope, on certain things. But on other things, it's like, where is he? Like,
I mean, holding calls are tough, but the one that Deion Dawkins did, I mean, they're trained that if someone's got their hands up, knock his hands down, push him down the ground, lay on him. That's what the offensive linemen are. That was textbook blocking. Yeah. Textbook. And that could have been a sky cam thing. It's like, nope. At no point did he ever grab that guy. It was just pure bullyish.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a great play, but Patrick Swank, have you checked in with your Dolphins friend? They have been quiet since Sunday, LOL. Well, you know, Patrick, I don't have any Dolphins friends, so number one. Number two, no. You're talking about that dude that's on TikTok and Instagram that buys all of his followers, that has the to a T eye black, and he talks like this and whatever.
You nailed it.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what it is. Your phone listens to you because, like, when you're stupid Dolphins bitching, whatever, or, you know, sometimes I like to troll a little bit of that stuff out there. Not too much. I'm not too, but, you know, when it trips my fancy. But, yeah, this dude, I saw his when he's reacting to the T-Bass, and this guy never makes anything. And then he, like, puts a picture of Josh Allen's face on his
Chair,
computer, his dorky gaming chair. He's like, like, dude, why do people in Miami get off on these characters, dude? Like him, Smoke, all these guys that just cry. Like they either cry when they win or they cry when they lose. And God, I don't know. I don't know.
Nothing about it's authentic. It's just all drama and just over the top.
That's fake.
Yep. Well, that's like what we've always prided ourselves on, doing this kind of stuff here, right? Like you know, I'm glad that 1,100 of you are watching right now, man. It makes me happy, dude. But like, if you meet me at one of our events or at a game or at the bar, like, this is the dude that you're meeting. Like, I'm not, I'm not gonna, man. Like, dude,
would you buy me a beer, please? Why can't anyone just buy me a beer? It's my event. He never wins.
Fire him all, start it all over. He kind of sounds like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and he gets all worked up, bro.
There, now we just gave him 2 minutes of our time. Swank.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, man.
No,
you know, he can have it. The dude is just that's like what I fight with internally a lot. Is like, do you bring this up because it's so annoying, but literally that's what he's feeding off of?
Yep.
Or, you know, I got to be able to vent my frustrations too. And like, if I was going to have a douchey TikTok account like that, I would put his face on my computer chair. Right.
Yeah, I get you. No, he's obnoxious.
But yeah, I don't know what he's doing, man. I don't know. I think they're all just looking at draft order and prospects for next year, probably. That's what's going on.
I got a couple Miami fans, and we talked about it in extent. I mean, offensive line. You have to go offensive line, and they never do. So
they won't.
They're their own worst enemy when it comes to draft.
I don't understand. We've talked about it a lot. The Tom Brady era Patriots, they always had a good offensive line the whole 20 years that dude was there. Maybe 19, 18, whatever. Maybe there was a couple early years where it was a little suspect, but literally always had and always took care of them. And Tom Brady gave them cars and paid them all this crazy stuff and took pay cuts and whatever. And it's like, why can't anybody just see, like, that is the key. The key is to give anybody that is at least average, like, enough time back there to find somebody who's open. Like, wide receivers will beat corners. We talk about that on the show. It's just, you know, but no, man, you go for that speed. And you see how fast they are when they lose. They're so fast.
I mean, real quick point to Tom Brady's offense. We know he made a living out of checking down, and you get a lot of yards checking down when you have a lot of time for your wide receivers to get downfield and create a lot of space to dump it off to someone for a lot of yards. So you're right. Offensive line is where you gotta start there offensively. Jeez.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Well, since we're getting in there, and thank you guys so much for all your comments. You're killing it, man. Killing it. Doug says first one's in the locker room. Hell yeah, dude. We did beat the Miami Dolphins at home with a nail biter here. T-Bass coming through with that great 61-yarder to tie her up. He was on the field, ready to go. I love that. Before they even made the decision, he knew it was in his range and that he could do it. Seeing the love and all this stuff from all the players, we talked about that a little bit. It was so great. But another slow start for the offense. That is something that I really want us to remedy. Jerry, I'm going to start with you, man. Just give me a couple of your general thoughts from this game here this last week. Big win.
Yeah, I think week in and week out, we've been asking for this running back room to show up and help Josh out. And I think out of 59 total plays, it was close to 23, 24, 25. Were actually to the running backs via the running game and receiving game. And it's awesome to see. It takes a lot of pressure off the wide receivers and tight ends. But when their numbers are being called, this running back room is showing up, and it's awesome to see, including Josh. So what I took from this game is they're not going to get away from this run game. Ray Davis is coming into his own. It's a beautiful thing. That long catch, he broke a tackle. And again, it's just beautiful to watch these guys having their part in this game. It's very successful. I got to give credit to Coach Brady, though. Those swing passes to the running backs, they're obviously called like that because you see Allen look one way and just go the other way and swing. And those running backs are always open out of the backfield. So whatever scheme he's setting up before that to get those guys open, it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, keep giving that 3.5 headed monster in the backfield of the ball, and you'll continue to see wins like this. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. He's really coming on. I mean, the 1-2 punch we have right now with him and Cook is insane. And I heard some people saying, like, is Ray now like the dominant number one back? And I don't think that's true. I just think it's case by case, and I think he's a change of pace. And whoever's got the hot hand, and I mean, Cook had a great game too. Like I wasn't upset with the way he ran. I wasn't upset with the play calls in the second half either. But it's funny, man. They're so good. The offensive line is so good at making those holes. I just want them to get on that pace a little quicker. The first, second quarter, just start hitting that throttle. But what do you think, Scooter, man? What's a couple good things you took away from this game here?
It's a game we usually lose, guys. We lost time of possession. We allowed the opposing quarterback to go 25 for 28, 3 incompletions alone all day. I mean, this is a game that I'm not saying should have lost because we were able to keep up with them, but it was a game that we could have easily lost just because of how Miami performed offensively. 4.9 yards a rush. Like I said, just 3 incompletions. I just love seeing that we are able to pull those type of games out and still come up with a victory of that. And that is all 3 phases of the game, because if it was just the defense we were relying on, we would be having a 6-3 record right now. So I'm happy to see us at home coming away with a victory with that performance Miami did. Miami had a great performance, guys. You can't knock that. You cannot knock what Miami did. They could have easily came up with a win. We won. I'll take it.
We won. Ha ha ha.
Neener, I think, is
it's got a good breakdown, because if you saw at one point he was 9 for 10 for 88 yards, and I know he could be very efficient when he's passing the ball. But another thing that we always preach is if the Bills keep everything in front of them, they'll be just fine. And that's what they did. They kept one play maybe to Tyreek outside that went for 40, but everything else was, you can beat us by almost perfect on your passing downs, but when you're only getting 6 yards of catch, we'll take it.
That's it, man. That's it. I mean, I don't know. I still want to see more pressure. I hated that prevent look on that Waddle touchdown, dude. You're rushing 3. Get on that guy. Yep. Put it on him. I'm over it. Go send him. You're not like, the defense is doing okay. They could be performing better. They have been banged up, blah, blah, blah. I do think a lot of these run woes on the run defense are going to be solidified when we get big old bad Matt Milano back in the lineup. Get Carter back, that kind of stuff. I'm not so worried about it. What I am worried about is like some of these choices. Like, don't let him even get a shot at that. Send some people at him. He's not made out of steel. Like, not to say I want to break or anything. I'm just saying that, like, none of these quarterbacks, you send the house, you're not the house even, just send some more pressure, dude. He's going to make a bad choice. He won't have as much time for Waddle to run around and get open. Maybe he chooses to go the other way because you're pushing him the other way, and then he can't make that throw. It's just, put some pressure in the guy's face.
Well, it comes down to knowing what kind of offense they run. Waddle and Hill can stretch the field. When you're that close to the end zone, you take that back of the end zone takes that part of the game plan totally away. So why would you go ahead and let these guys start running back and forth across the field? Bring some pressure. They're going to get open if you only bring 3 people and you give them plenty of time to pass the ball. You're taking away their biggest threat. Bring the pressure and make Tua make a stupid play. I agree, Swank. Bringing 3 was kind of crazy.
Mary Jane Brown Hughes says, any updates on Keon? We have not heard anything crazy. He did have an MRI. No, he had an X-ray and he was going for an MRI. You haven't heard anything specific. There was like 4 or 5 wrist injuries on this team right now, which is kind of wild. I am just surmising from my own Swank state that it's not that serious, or else they would have gotten help like before the deadline. They should have known today what was going on. So I think if it was more serious than that, maybe they would have made a trade, or maybe they would have did some shuffling around, something like that. And I think they like what they've got. And I think actually, for as much as we've talked about how big a deal signing Cooper is, they won a game, a big game on Sunday without him.
Yep.
And I think that's a huge step forward that people need to recognize a little bit. But as far as updates on Keon, that's about all we got. Hopefully we'll hear some more. Knowing this team and this coach, I would say I would be betting that he wouldn't play Sunday just because.
Yep. I mean, if it was a fracture, I think we had already heard about it. So MRI, you never know with an MRI because you need to make sure the swelling's down before you can actually see anything. So that's ligament, tendon, muscular tissue damage. So it could be something as easy as just a contusion, a bruise to the hand, or ligament damage. So either way, I believe we would have heard if it was broken right now, and I believe he would have been on IR by now if there was anything serious.
John says the secondary appeared to be out of position on multiple plays. Yeah, man. I would say again, lack of pressure. I would also say you had Kyer in there. You didn't have the best corner in football.
Yep.
Christian Benford was out. But with all that being said, I thought Kyer had a good game. I thought he played well. And that fumble recovered was anybody else sad? Did they notice he grabbed the ball and ran to the opposite end zone to celebrate and
without getting touched?
Was following him?
Yeah.
Nobody was following him.
Oh, okay.
And he had to kind of be like, come on, guys. And I'm like, oh, man, come on, dude. This is this kid's moment this season. Like, go. And they did. They ran down. But I was just like, man.
He's running by himself. Usually, he's going like this, and everybody's following him.
Yeah. But
I don't think he was touched that play.
I think he was, but maybe not. You thought it was a touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think if you curl up like that in the ball, you gave yourself up.
Yeah, there's that part of it probably.
Yeah. Did you see the way he pounced at it? It reminded me of my husky. It was like he got punched out. He was like standing there, and then he.
Yep.
There's like a little like pause. It was funny.
Wasn't that awesome watching Taron Johnson though peel off? Like he got beat, he peels off and comes around, just goes boom.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
Peanut would be proud, man.
Peanut
he sure would.
Okay, it's 8:34. We got 1,256 of you fools watching us right now. Thank you so much. Don't forget, we are part of the Buff fan base. Super proud to be, and sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. Buy everything they got. It's good for you. It's good for a family in Western New York. It's a win-win times 50,000.
Great viewership, though. Love it.
Yeah, you guys are killing it, man. Couple housekeeping things kind of grazed over before we got into the comments in this game. And this is one of them that we're going to lead right off with. Today was the end of the trade deadline at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lori says, you see Insta of Jordan Phillips, Big Phil Parka coming back. It seems as though Jordan Phillips has gotten released from the Cowboys, and I think he's on his way to Buffalo right now to fill a little bit of that defensive tackle depth. That's fun storyline. We are banged up at DT right now. I don't know how much it really, moves the needle. But it's fun. What do you guys got to say about that? What do you think, Scott?
I mean, you hear there are some success stories of people not playing a full season coming in at the latter half of the season and helping out significantly. Jordan Phillips knows the McDermott style defense. Babbage has taken over. He is a big body that's good against the run, and he's a hype guy. Check for me as far as the box goes. Obviously, the Bills won't pull him up from the practice squad or make him active unless they feel he can make a difference. So bring him in. Let's see what he can do. I like Jordan Phillips personally, so bring that energy. Love it.
Joey says, if it hasn't been reported yet, it hasn't happened. The time is 4:30 today, people. Yeah. So he actually wasn't a trade. He was released.
Yeah,
so
he wouldn't be a trade. He'd be picking up a free agent.
Yeah. So and it'd be the same thing. We did release Mike Edwards. We did not find a trade partner for him. So he is free to sign with probably the Kansas City Chiefs in the next, whenever he wants to. Other than that, Smoot, they moved Smoot to IR officially. A lot of people are talking about Micah, expecting Micah to sign, especially with letting go of Mike. Jerry, what do you think about that? You think he's coming back here or what?
Wouldn't that be something? Again, they let go of the guy to fill that spot. So if he wants to come in, see where he's at, it won't hurt. You know what I mean? Again, it's one of those things, they won't bring him up unless they really need to. He's familiar with his defense. Obviously, we know that with his experience for the last 8 years with the Bills or so. But no, bring him in just in case. That's a good safety valve. I don't think that's the thing is, if he's on a practice squad or anything like that, I don't think people are going to poach him off because of his age. That might be just me, but
I think
bring him up. Bring him up. And locker room presence, if anything.
Yeah, that's Doug saying Phil brings the noise. Lori says ultimate hype man, nostalgia. Absolutely. What do you think, Scott? Anything else on that?
Right now, the Bills have 3 safeties running, so they need to bring someone in. I know Cam Lewis can play the safety position, so it'd be interesting to see how they move the parts around. IR is a big thing. We got rid of players of safety. We moved defensive linemen to IR, so it'd be interesting to see who they bring in because there were a bunch of people that were dropped today.
Yeah. That is the truth. Let's see. Let's move on to this game we got coming up here. Another 1:00 game, guys.
What?
Holy, 2 in a row. Holy. The Bills go to Indianapolis to face the Colts, who are turning into what some might call a little bit of a dumpster fire. I think things are a little bit chaotic. We'll start right here with Uncle James. Comment, facing Flacco next week. Interesting. Yes. Richardson has been benched. He got benched 2 weeks ago because he pulled himself from a game for being tired. We talked a little bit about it on the show when it happened. And yeah, they are deciding to go forward with the ever so old Joe Flacco, who seems to be playing okay ball. I don't know if it's the kind of ball that can compete with a team that is second in the AFC right now. But let's start with you, Scott. What do you think? What does this Indianapolis Colts offense have to offer against this Bills defense we just spent a bunch of time talking about?
I think what concerns most people, and I'm one of those guys, I'm included, is the running back. Jonathan Taylor, last time we played him, the guy had 35 touches, 204 yards, 5 touchdowns total. Didn't need a passing game. He is someone that can have a very explosive game. He has very explosive plays. So us Bills fans are used to a couple big runs a game. We need to get that taken under control. But the fact that Flacco is playing, I honestly think the Colts organization should keep him in the rest of the season. Very disappointed in Richardson. So I think this they potentially could be trading out or doing something crazy in the offseason. But Flacco is an immobile quarterback. He likes to stay in the pocket, and I think that's a very dangerous recipe for the Buffalo Bills interior defensive line and the pressure they can put on people. Because when they play quarterbacks that sit in the pocket, I believe they're pretty successful. So we'll get to the keys of the offense and defense later, but I see a struggling a fire going on. Like you said, it's a trash fire happening here, and Joe Flacco is just trying to rejuvenate his career again. But it could vary if they can get the run game going. They have a tough offensive line. It could be dangerous, but the Bills need to put their foot down and stop that run. That's priority this week.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. I'm so sick of big games by running backs. I'm literally just so sick of it. And I tell you, they're getting hands on guys. It's just finishing, like
tackling. Come on.
finishing. Jerry, you got anything to add about that, buddy? What do you think this offense against our defense?
Nope, Scott pretty much nailed it. The run game is what's scary. He has already over 500 yards rushing. With Flacco in, it seems as though he does dump it off to the running backs a little bit more often, so Taylor gets a little bit more catches that way, or more attention that way anyway. So I think if you can handle and stop Taylor in the pass game and especially the run game, I think we're going to be all set. Well, Scott touched on Flacco's ability to not escape the pocket. We'll get to that a little bit later when we do the defense. But no, I think stop that run game. We'll be all set.
I like it. We got a celebrity that just joined the comments here. Mr. Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta.
He says, sorry I'm late, boys. I'm here. Mafia, mount up. That's right. How you doing, brother? How are you? We were just talking about you, actually, right before we went on air, because Scott and myself and a couple of our buddies, Cookie's going to be there, my buddy Chad. We're going to the San Francisco game, and we're trying to figure out where the hell to park and where to meet all you guys up at. So let us know. Help some brothers out. Yeah, man, I think if Benford's back this week, I have less problems, I think, in coverage and those sorts of things. I would love to see, and maybe that's part of Big Phil's being back. He was always really good against the run. Him and Oliver in the middle, and then you get your pressure on the outsides. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Groot have a big day. The thing with Groot too is that he always starts off hot, and then they double team him, and you don't hear anything really from him. You look at his stat line. I think he had 7 tackles, like 3 for loss, like in a sack, and what the hell, like awesome, right? But they tried to take him out, and they do. So
I want a real quick side note. He plays very, very responsible football. We saw what he did with Waddle at the end of the game. Took the pursue angle, didn't bite on all the nonsense, and he chased down a guy that runs a 4.3 40. So he may not be getting all the sacks. He is getting double teamed, just what you want to see. But the guy is playing very, very responsible football, and that's exactly why the Buffalo Bills drafted him.
Yeah. You want to know something? You want to see an awesome image? Go back and watch his sack on Tua again. That man, his wingspan literally went out like that. There's no way you're getting away from him. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to watch. It's like seeing a whale come out of the water.
Tackle.
He swam that tackle, yeah, dude, and it was just like, holy shit,
beautiful.
Crazy.
He's great. He's a great guy.
You guys are killing it in the comments right now. Another thing, their center Ryan Kelly, All Pro. He went to IR today. He will not be starting against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. So another big question mark there. Might be a big old time for that interior defensive line to really put their stamp on a little game here. Yeah. Yeah, I could see 2 spoons, But yeah, that came out here not too long ago. I wanted to make sure that was known.
Bernard Raymond, their left tackle, is injured too. I don't know if he's been out for a while, but he's their starting left tackle. So they have 3 rookies on this offensive line. So now that Kelly's out, it's a rookie center. So let's eat defensive line.
Get in there. See, this would be the perfect time to put some pressure against an immobile quarterback and a weak interior offensive line. Just saying.
And it seems as though Flacco's one of those first read guys too. He looks a lot at the first receiver, and Bills are really good at taking away that first read. So if you got an immobile quarterback with the line pocket crumbling and you get rid of that first read, that's going to wreak for havoc, and that's going to hold the ball for that half second longer, and that's when you get home.
Another interesting stat, guys, is when you look at stats with receptions on teams, usually it's 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back. The Colts' top 4 receivers and targets, all wide receivers. So where Flacco does go to the running back a little often, he's looking at those wide receivers first, Jared. And you're right. If we have our number 1 corner on their number 1 wide receiver, the pocket's collapsing. It could be Les Miserables for Flacco.
Yeah. Sweet. I love it. Make it miserable.
Yep.
Switching over to the other side of the ball here. our offense has been cooking pretty good, but off to slower starts. We'd all like to see it pick up a little bit. Let's see here. I don't remember who I started with last time. We'll go down to Jerry. Yeah, Jerry, what do you think this offense of our Buffalo Bills has to do to get that quick start going? What's really going to get them moving against this Colts defense, which is seems to be pretty middle of the road to lower end,
Low.
4-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they don't do much in the secondary.
Yeah. So if you're on FanDuel, this is a week that you would pick a lot of Bills players to do well and get screwed over. That's how usually it works on FanDuel. I'm not gonna do it. Here we go.
Oh, only when we bet, Jared. Only when we bet.
So I say that because the defense total yards ranks about near 30. Passing's 30, and I think rushing's about 31. So their defense is horrible. So this is a great opportunity for Allen and this offense to just wreak havoc on this defense. And I think, watching the last game, Darnold was able to pick these guys apart. And I mean, not throwing threads on guys that are tight coverage, but every ball Darnold threw was to a wide open guy. And Darnold did not leave the pocket often. He had a nice cozy pocket the whole game. So if you're going to transition that over to what our Bills do, there were spots where I could see Darnold step up and run, that's where Josh Allen would do and step up and run. But I do not see our offense slowing down at all against this defense. There's too many holes. They rushed a lot of 4 against the Minnesota Vikings. And they didn't get home. Like, again, the only time they did get home is when they sent 5. They did get a lot of pressure with 5, but with 4 it was no go. There's a nice pocket all game. So I personally, knocking on wood, don't think that the Buffalo Bills offense will have any problems against this defense at all. They rank horrible, and they got a lot of holes.
I like it. As long as they're not doing what we talked about before the Titans game, which was playing down to an opponent who is a little bit lesser than them. Really fast over on X, we got Gagan, I think is how we say this name. I hope I said it correctly. Just logged in. Is Coleman playing week 10? We do not know yet, and there has not been a practice to show us any injury updates. That'll be coming out tomorrow. We talked about it a little earlier on the show, man, and we think that if we were betting men, it's not that serious, but my gut is 60% no, he's not playing. And if he works through it, then I'm sure he will. But just knowing this coaching staff and the way they treat these kind of things, if it's something that he had to get X-rayed and MRI'd to make sure, like, he might not be playing. And to be honest, he gets a little bit of the yips in the early parts of the games anyway. So I don't know if having a sore wrist or a hurt wrist would really help that either. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, my guess is no-ish. So that's where we're at. Scott, what do you think, man? What do we got to do?
Jared, to put specifics on your numbers, Jared, the Colts ranked 28th in pass, allowing 233 yards a game, and they ranked 21st in run D, 149.8 yards a game. Our Buffalo Bills offense is an offense that can thrive off, I believe, any decision they make as far as game plan and commit to it. And both of these stats tell me that anything works. So what Joe Brady needs to do, as we've said it before, come in with an established game plan and stick with it. Stick with it and understand the tendencies of this defense. The linebackers are very busy. They are very busy. They're 2 of the top 3 leading tacklers on their team. So if you can get to the second level, like our offensive lineman has proven to, running those 6 linemen with Alec Anderson out there, bringing in an extra tight end, if we can get to that second level and take care of those linebackers, you're going to see a big game for Cook and for Davis. So take advantage of the weak defense. This is a week where if you do have to sit someone like a Keon Coleman and just play smash mouth football, even though you're playing in a dome on fast turf, you can establish that kind of dominance this week against the Colts. And I think the defense, if they can jump on it and slow down Flacco, we could just ride the clock, get 35 to 40 minutes of possession, and it'll be a victory for Buffalo.
Just to clarify my stat line, it was total yards, not average per game. So, Scott, you did the average per game. I was doing total. So
okay, you don't have to get defensive.
I am.
Sure, boys. Go to your rooms. Yeah, I think this is a week that you could see them leaning heavily on the run a little bit more than they do. But I do agree with John's here. He's sick of the run. We've been talking about this. Run first and second down. First down running has been very successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else was really successful? Play action on first down.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't do that quite as much. The thing that does not seem to be as successful, and I will say, everything that I didn't want them to do this last week in the second half, they actually came out and did, and they did it well. So I'll eat crow on it. But they went to hand the ball off to James Cook on second down on one of those drives, and I was like, come on. And he busted off like 8 yards. And I'm like, great, awesome, great. Yep, I'm wrong. That's fine. Keep doing it.
Yep.
I also want to say Mac, I was not a big part of, I did not want him to be a big part of this offense. And I was wrong about that as well. This last week, I'm glad he caught the touchdown. He did his thing. And it was awesome. But, that's part of that everybody eats thing. That's part of that whatever. And hey, we're halfway through the season right now. Like, can you believe that? We're halfway through the season. These guys are settling more into their roles. We are not getting week 2 Mac Hollins. We're getting week 10, So things are meshing and coming together a little better. I would say, again, just with the absence of Cooper and how well they moved the ball in that second half of this game, that is a big tell. And, just that they can do things without that guy that everybody thought they absolutely needed to be able to move the ball and do anything they wanted to do.
Right.
So for me, yes, I would like to see him lean on the run game, but not stray away from passing the ball. Maybe what? I don't know, 65-35, something. I don't know, something that crazy. Who knows? If you can bleed the clock and do one of those old school AFC kind of games, I'm into it, dude. Just do it. Get up 2 scores and then don't ever let them touch the ball again. It'd be great.
Right now, the Bills are 250 rushes, 245 passes, so only 5. That's right there at 50-50 right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They could go on. I mean, see how it goes. The thing that I do love about this offense under Joe Brady is he's not so stubborn that he has to do, his game. Like, we have to do this like this way. And it felt like at times before he took over last year, that's not what the case was. It was, we are doing what I said we were going to do, no matter how it's working, because we're going to prove that we could do it. And it's like, dude, you gotta bend with the waves here and kind of get to something that works. And I'll say again, they need to do that sooner with the offensive side of the ball, moving it in general. Lori says, free the feet.
he may have a bigger role this week. He definitely will.
Corey's letting his daughter make bets for him, and she's winning all sorts of money. That's awesome.
Nice. I'm sure New York has no problem with that.
Patrick says, I feel like a broken record, but we need to get Knox and Kincaid more involved. Yeah, I agree, man. I will say they still are getting a little bit more involved. It's just not that big, like, right? They're coming through in the clutch, but it seems like Kincaid catches a ball, and I'm like, oh, yeah, there he is. Like, like it shouldn't be like that. It should be
Kincaid.
More.
Kincaid has the most targets by 9 right now.
Yeah. Also most drops, right?
Yeah.
So this past game against Minnesota, the Colts did lead. The Minnesota Vikings threw it to their tight ends more than they threw it to the wide receivers. So I actually have that written down for my key. We'll get to that second, but the tight ends are.
This is what Jerry does. Skips ahead, fast forwards. Yeah, misses a week, fast forwards. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Hey, it's 8:54. There's 1,416 of you watching right now. Good on you. Thank you so much, Jared. What is your key to the offense? And you know what? Why don't you throw your key to the defense in there too, buddy?
There you go.
All right. So a bold statement or bold fact right now, I'm going to say it right now, is we're used to seeing running backs take off and do a long run against the Bills every once in a while. This week, opening drive that the Bills have, James Cook is going to bust one longer than 50. But the X factor or the key to the game actually is going to be the tight end play. I watched this past game against Minnesota Vikings, and Minnesota tight ends were getting wide open, just running normal out and curls. So expect Kincaid and Knox and even Quentin Morris to get in there. But I think those are going to be the key to the game. If you go back to the 90s, the Kagan report was after McKellar because they had to base their defense on what McKellar was doing. This is how it's going to be this week. The Bills tight ends are going to be hot and going, and that's going to open up everything else. Go Bills. All right. Defense. Tyler Rapp. To stop this run, game of Taylor. I think he's going to have to come up and lay him down a couple times, and I think he's able to do that. The linebackers and the defensive ends are going to have to contain him to keep him inside. But as Taylor Rapp can come up and fill those holes from way back then, that'll slow this run game down. So I think his play is going to be the key to success in this defense. I just want to throw this out there. One more thing. If you guys watch this last 9 weeks of football, the Buffalo Bills secondary has not been beat over the middle deep at all. They've been beat to the outsides a little bit, but nothing deep over the middle. And that's kudos to Hamlin and Tyler Rapp right there.
Nice. I like it. I like it. I'll say to your offensive key, man, on that touchdown to Quentin Morris, which was crazy, which we didn't even talk about. Josh Allen is amazing, as always. Did they have all 3 tight ends out on the field? Because Kincaid and Knox were both out there like celebrating with him like as soon as it happened. So they had all 3 of them out there.
Jumbo.
Wow, sick.
I believe so.
Sick. All right, Scooter, what do you got, man? Offensive key, defensive key.
And real quick on that Morris touchdown, they practice that stuff, whether you think so or not. When kids are running around, they dive and pretend like they're doing amazing catches and all that stuff. Players actually practice that stuff just in case. So that play, as fluke as it could have been, he knows if he's got to release late, he's going to release late, and it's probably going to be a shitty pass. And that play was amazing.
Adults do it too.
Yep. Hey, it is what it is. Basketball players take crazy shots because sometimes you're going to have to take that crazy shot. The key to the offense for me is not necessarily the players and it's Joe Brady and keeping it 50-50. We talked about tendencies earlier in the past couple weeks, and we're starting to see him get away from being showing a lot of tendencies, grouping together screens, grouping together RPO plays and all that stuff. And that's why I think the Buffalo Bills offense is becoming more and more successful. So the key to the offense, keep it 50-50, make these linebackers that are very good. Like I said, they're 2 out of the 3 top tacklers on the team, which is not a very popular stat as far as defensive tackles go on teams. Usually it's a linebacker and a safety. So these linebackers get to the ball, make the 50-50, have your play action passes be effective. And Joe Brady, you need to just stick to that kind of game plan. I think offensively you'll be very successful. I do see a 250 passing game and 100+ yards for our running backs easily this week. Defense, I have it written here, Swank, and I know you always say it. I'm going to start off with stuff to run because Jonathan Taylor did tear us up the last time we played. Like I said, 5 touchdowns total, 35 touches. You know he's going to get the ball. But you need to force the pass and create the pressure. Russo and Miller, it's time that you put the quarterback on his ass as a duo, as the dual threat defensive ends that we have here in Buffalo. And I have them getting 4 sacks total between the two. I don't care how it happens. But Flacco's someone that can't get out of the pocket, so you don't overrun it like Miller had been in the past, but he's getting better at it. You collapse those tackles, and you make life miserable for Flacco. So offense, 50-50. Defense, stop the run and create the pressure on Flacco, and you'll come out with the dubs, and we'll be 8-2.
Boom. Like it. All right. Well, for me, offensively, man, I think, we've pretty much covered the whole gamut, but fast start, come out fast. I want to see a solid game plan, go down on that opening drive and score, mix it up and score. And keep your foot on the gas, like I said, until you get up 2 scores, and then run that rock right down their throat and drain it from their bodies, man, because this is the kind of game that you should be able to do that. We are who we think we are. Go out there and prove it. Embarrass them respectfully. So that's my game plan offensively. Defensively, man, it's all about pressure. Got to get pressure on this old man. The legend of Joe Flacco echoes through the canyons of Cleveland and Baltimore and every other freaking place this dude has laid his head. Let's have him lay his head on that turf, huh? That's what I want. A little Lucas Oil nap. Let's give him that. Haven't heard Epinessa's name called in a while. Von Miller, you're back now. Let's get something other than an offsides. Let's go. We need to get some pressure on this dude, and I think snuff it out, man. But this is what we need to do. Also, another name you haven't heard in a long time, and had a lot of content creators and Bills all of Twitter at Oliver, man. You know, let's get him going here, and maybe a little Jordan Phillips coming back, maybe Daquan coming back, maybe hopefully Carter comes back here in a couple weeks, and we're all getting got and happy. But yeah, I think this D line, man, that's aside from Groot, it's been a little quiet here these last couple weeks, and I want to see him start stepping it up. So.
Well, the fact that Jonathan Taylor is going to get a lot of touches and you have an immobile quarterback, this is a week where interior defense, the whole defensive line, that front seven is going to be watched heavily. So the fact that we're calling them out is spot on. I do believe that, because we do need to see some of these names being announced for tackles for losses and sacks.
Absolutely. I do not want to not mention this name. Corey brought it up. Thanks, Corey. Anku has been playing very well and out of his mind. So, he should be a permanent draw up here as a result of all these moves and releases and IRs and whatever else. Joe says Colts need to get stomped. Yeah. And Corey says it is. Here we go, folks. We're in overtime. That's right. It's 9:01. We have gone past our time, but the fan base is very gracious and lets us continue to go on. Moving forward here into our overtime segment, it is everybody's favorite segment. It's time for the score predictions, which means we are leading out this whole thing with our kid in the street. That's right. Your favorite, our favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, this is week 10 of Eli's winning lockdown.
Hey, welcome to Eli's winning lockdown. This Sunday at 1 p.m., Bills versus Colts. Well, it came to the point of the season. We're playing my dad's team. Prediction? 27-20. Well, the Bills are going to have a little win over the horses. Special shout out to Pat McAfee, former kicker for the Indy Colts. Well, sorry to say, but the Bills are going to win. It's really good that they have Joe Flacco for a really positive coach chain. We're going to have some sleeping on the sidelines. I just get it. Count the 26 shirts, official retailer of the Bills Mafia babes. And as always, peace.
That's right.
I love the music.
Yeah. I think that was Jerry, man. Jerry had a little bit of editing going on in there.
Yeah, I got him a little fancy music to talk to.
Yeah, it's good theme music, man. I like it.
Good job, Eli.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I think actually Pat McAfee is going to be at the game. Nice. I think I saw that on the tweets. So that's interesting. Yeah. Here we go. Score predictions. Hit us with yours in the comment. All 1,456 of you. Scott, what do you got for a score prediction?
I think we hit the 30 burger. We're playing on turf in a dome. The weather won't be an issue. We played Texans. I think that's the only team we played in the dome so far this year. So a little different story than how we performed against the Texans. 35-17. We score a lot of touchdowns. We do that 50-50. We score many different ways. This offense is struggling too much for us to for them to put a lot of points on the board. So I'm sticking with that. Go Bills.
Nice. Jerry, what do you got, buddy?
I'm going the same way. I'm going to put one more on them, and they're going to hit the 40 nugget. So 42-17. Buffalo Bills offense is still going to roll. Like I said, they're going to start right out with a nice long 50-plus run by James Cook and get it going early. This defense, I think, is going to get the Flacco all day long. You might even see maybe Richardson coming in later on because Flacco's getting beat up so much. But 42-17, the Buffalo Bills.
Nice. Doug says
bringing in someone that quits to back up a quarterback after the game's over. That's funny.
Garbage time.
Yep.
37-10 from our boy Doug. Cookie says 30-14 Bills. Charla says 31-10, which Charla, ding, 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 You win the Swank match score of the week. That was my score, 31-10. We're on the same page, and great minds think alike. Buffalo Spartan says, I'm saying 42-17 again this week.
That's my match right there.
We got Cat saying Bills 31, Colts 17.
Nice.
What's up, Matt? Love seeing new names here. Love seeing new names.
absolutely.
Welcome.
Hey, Scoot, going back to your offense with Brady, you want him to do 50-50 running. I wanted to throw it out there that I don't know if anybody realizes this, but the Bills have won 5 of their games by 2 or more touchdowns, and they're still 50-50. And it's not like the Bills are running the ball at the end of the game to run the clock out. They're still passing a lot. So this 50-50 is legit the game plan. So just want to throw that out there.
I like it.
Toss.
I like it. Corey says 40-17. Got to get that O in there. Aha, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I got my 10 in there, man. I got you. John's riding with the no prediction, man. He's been doing this for a while, and it's been working. Bills top the Colts. I like it. We also do pick'ems. You got the records handy there, Jerry?
Yeah. Right now, Scott and I are in front at 31-16. Swank, you're at 29-18.
Ooh, I've been getting a little wild, I guess, huh?
You were sick past week. You were sick. We'll give you that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I missed this last week. Did I not do them this last week?
No,
You
you did them. We're just you weren't thinking straight.
Yeah, that's what it is. We'll blame these ones on that, too. New England at Chicago. Scott, start us off.
I got Chicago. Where's this game at? Do we know where the game's at?
At Chicago.
Yeah, I'll pick Chicago. My friend Dave Cruz is a huge Bears fan, and he's struggling to see what's happening there. So I'm with you, Dave, on this one. Chicago Bears.
I don't know, man. Their wide receivers are walking off halfway through play. So, I think I'm going New England on this one.
And Ryan Lord. Sorry, Ryan. I forgot about you. Love you, buddy.
Lordy. What's up, Lordy? What do you got, Jerry?
Yeah, I've gone with New England the last 2 weeks, and they've kind of screwed me over. So this week I'm going with New England. They have to win one, right?
No.
Sure don't.
No, but I have New England. I like May, so we'll see where he goes. And I think he's building up his career here a little bit. And let's see him go there in Chi-Town and get a win.
Nope.
Did you just pick both teams?
Yes. No, I picked New England. New
Okay.
England.
Okay. I thought you said they were screwing you over, so you were going to pick Chicago.
They screwed me over 2 weeks in a row, so I was going to pick New England because they can't screw me over 3 times.
I got you.
There you go.
Hey,
All
Lonnie.
right. Jets at Arizona. What do you think, Jerry?
I love that name, Chicken Wing.
Mhm.
Facebook. There you
I'm
go.
going Arizona with this one. They're in some tough games, and they pull some out and they lose some. I think they're able to pull this against the Jets. The Jets again came off a win, but they're playing down in Arizona. I think the Cardinals are going to pull it off. And I got to go with Mark's old team too.
3
with
right
them.
there.
Yeah.
Arizona all around. Doug was saying that the New England Bears game was a toilet bowl. You would think so, but I still have one better for you, buddy.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I bet you do. Let's see. So we all picked Arizona. Miami at the Rams. The Rams, who we didn't talk about, trading Tre'Davious White to the Baltimore Ravens today, right before the deadline. So maybe he'll get a little playing time. Wouldn't that be nice?
Interesting.
I'll start it off this time. The Rams, I think they are starting to put it together. I'm on it. We're going LA.
I'm a huge Stafford fan. Huge Stafford fan. I'll go Rams too.
Yep, I'm going to go Rams as well.
All right. So far it's only one game deciding this week.
It's a Monday night game too, huh? That's fun.
Let's see. Well, since we did that, I think this is the Thursday night game because it seemed to be one of the most exciting ones. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Go ahead, Jerry.
Those rivalry games, those division games are tough. I think Cincinnati's going to upset Baltimore. Let's go Cincinnati.
I'll save the drama for mine and say I agree with Jerry. I also pick Cincinnati. What do you got, Scott?
I'm the same way, guys. I'd love to see the upset. Ravens, I think, slowly starting to get figured out, and Bengals are hot. Burrow, I think, had a bunch of touchdown passes this past week. So keep it going. Help us out in the rankings as far as the playoff seeding goes.
Like it. And here we are, Doug. The time we've all waited for.
Giants, Panthers.
The patented Swank toilet bowl. And here we are with a Reed spoiler alert because I can't lay anything out without being, me, right? Am I right? Yes, Scott. Giants at Carolina. And you will be picking Not at all. You forfeited this game for messing up the game.
Give me a tie.
I'm saying Panthers. What do you think, Scott?
Panthers. It's a home game. They need to win something. Giants just suck.
I have Panthers
Daniel
too.
Jones had a hell of a heart run the other day. Broke 2 tackles, went in and scored, but they were 3 scores down. It was a little too late.
You know that he threw his first touchdown pass in Jersey in 2 years.
Right.
Sunday?
Heard that.
He had not thrown a touchdown pass in Giants Stadium in 2 years. It's over 650 days.
That's true, huh?
Yeah,
Holy
they put
shit.
it on the screen.
They paid
you
him big
imagine-
money this year or last year.
What's that?
They just recently paid him big money.
Yeah, I think it was before, like, he threw his last touchdown pass, and then they paid him big money. He hasn't thrown another one since. I really think it was like 2 years ago. They extended him like 2 years ago.
I did not know that. That's an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Did you see the stat last week? Again, I think Notre Dame played at their stadium 2 weeks ago, and Notre Dame scored more touchdowns in one game than the Giants did like all season or something like that. God.
Yeah, they almost came back. The Giants almost came back on that game too, and they put up a little bit of a fight towards the end this last week. But yeah, crazy. Everybody picked Panthers. So the only game that's going to decide anything this week is the New England game, huh?
Yeah, and let me get it right. We have Swank and I picked New England, and Scott went Chicago.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, guys, it's been a hail of a night. 1,480 of you. Let's see if we'll get to 1,500 before we drain out our final thoughts. Appreciate every single one of you for supporting and being here. And Jerry, why don't you kick it right off here with your final thought, and we'll say goodnight.
Yeah, hit 1,500. Everybody tag one friend now. No, it was a fun night, beautiful night. It's always fun to come to these things and talk Bills football when you're winning in 7-2. One game at a time. There was, at the beginning of the season, a lot of doubters out there, and I know we still got a lot of season to go, but just keep the faith, keep believing in your team, and things like this happen. So 7-2, beautiful thing. Let's go into Indianapolis, play on that fast turf, score some big points, and get this Bills Mafia crazy. Can't wait to see or hear stories about how loud and crazy it gets there too, because you know how we do travel. Everyone have a great week. Enjoy this hot weather that we're having. The snow is coming. I can't wait for it. Swank obviously wants it. We got the beards for it. So Grovember's out the window because we're already established anyway. But I can't wait to come back next Tuesday, talk more Bills football. But before that, I can't wait to tune in Sunday to watch these guys talk a little bit last minute football. Till then, be good to everyone. Be good to yourselves. Go Bills.
Go Bills indeed.
Go Bills.
First twin.
Giggity.
Second twin. What do you got for a final thought, my man?
Final thought is, we travel well. Be loud at this stadium. It's a dome, so it could get pretty loud. We travel well for sure. The Bills wear the red, white, and blue, and we all know it's election night. We all know results will happen in the next couple of days, and I'm not going to tell you what party I belong to or want to vote for. I do want to remind you that the red, white, and blue represents a lot. And before any political party can just tell you how to decide and how to treat people, we need to start treating people with respect, regardless of who they vote for. Tomorrow is a reminder that the next 4 years are going to be a certain way, but the best way to move on is to love thy neighbor, and I strongly agree with that. This world has gone to a place where the neighbors aren't loving each other. So if we remember that, I voted today, and that's one of the many rights we have as Americans. There's also the right to treat each other with respect, and that is a great way to make America great again. I know people are struggling. There's a rough time going on and all that stuff, but love is the way to go. So regardless of where you go, tomorrow, say hi to someone, tell them you love them, give them a hug, give them a high five, say go Bills, regardless of who they voted for, because you won't know anyways. And just keep it real. The red, white, and blue, America is America for a reason, and things will work out no matter what happens. Go Bills.
That's beautiful, Scott. Good job. That was awesome.
Yeah, Scott. Sure. Good job. Guys, I like football. Fuck politics. I hate all the politicians, every single one of them. I love all you guys, though. So thanks for chilling with us. 1495. We're so close. 1496. We're so close. You guys can check us out every Tuesday night right here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the K-Gun Report on wherever you're watching. That's YouTube, that's Facebook, that's Twitter. Also, Sunday sessions, hour and a half before kickoff, 11:30 this Sunday with myself, my boy Scooter Magoo, and Ryan Thomas from the Thomas Takes Sports Podcast. We'll give you all of your inactives, our last-minute takes. It's a half an hour of good time fun. Guys, big game coming up. Let's win it, get to 8-2, maybe challenge these chefs for first place in the AFC. Huh? What do you think?
Let's do
Sounds
it.
like a plan to me. Go Bills.
Hey guys, DM us if you want that Big Boot Babyface Bass sticker. DM us your address. We'll send them out for free. Go Bills.
Go Bills. See you next week.
Go